Okay, we'll call this guided meditation the couch and the cat. There's a sense in which when we sit down in meditation, we're becoming more fully human. There's also a sense in which we're letting go of being human. And the wisdom in meditation is to know how to walk that line, or rather to learn the skill of walking that line, of living on that line. The way in which we're becoming more fully human is that we are accepting every aspect of ourselves. And so we often start there. And you sit down on the cushion, and it's just for 30 minutes. So I say that it's just for 30 minutes to um, soften some of the resistance that might come up in the mind. So it's just for 30 minutes. You don't have to fight against anything in your life or any aspect of yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you might not like things. You don't like something in your life. You don't like something in the external world. You don't like something about yourself. That's just a fact. That's also something we're going to accept. And so the word acceptance can get in people's way here. And so the simplest way to get into an attitude of acceptance is just to see things as they are. And this is how we become more fully human when we sit on the cushion. Rather than living narrowly in the problem we have to solve right now, which is how we live during the day, when we sit down on the cushion, we let go of our problems and we accept what's here right now. Every aspect of being a human being in a body, on a cushion, in a room, in a world, we accept. You just let it be, is another way of putting it. You just let it all be the way it is. And if you sat with me before, often what I'll do is we do a little scan of the whole world in this present moment, and we just let it all be so we can listen to the world. And rather than listing in your mind the names of things you hear, just listen to the sounds as music, including my voice, pitch and loudness, rhythm, location, timbre, all the qualities of music apply to all the sounds. All the sights behind your eyelids. If your eyes are closed, just the blank space there, just accept this visual experience. It requires you seeing the patches of light and dark without any real color, or maybe some red is everywhere, but it's just patches, floaters. We see, we hear, and we feel everything in our body. And there's a lot in our body, so you can just go by chunks, feel your feet, feel your legs, feel your pelvic floor, your pelvis, your lower belly, feel the seat beneath you, beneath your butt, beneath your feet, beneath your legs, against your lower back. around the abdomen. Feel your chest, your heart. You feel your arms and hands and fingers. And we're just letting it all be here. Now, that doesn't mean that there might be some discomfort that you don't like. That's fine. You just notice the discomfort. You notice that you don't like it and you let it all be. You let it just be here. And we generally are meditating in a safe space where we don't have to worry about our problems. We will worry about our problems, but we don't have to because we have 30 minutes to just be here. So we're just going to let everything be for a while. All the way out to the tips of the fingers, the throat, and the neck. Just notice what we're feeling. We could be feeling heat or pressure or tingling or numbness. Yes, numbness is a feeling. Or your mouth, your jaw, your face, your eyes, your forehead. Let it be. The top of your skull, the back of your skull. So your whole body, you feel your whole body. See if you can zoom out a little bit. Just let it all be here. Inside your body are emotional feelings. You just let those be there as well. You might have a flutter of nervousness in your chest or some annoyance in your face or a deep, deep love of life in your belly or joy in your throat. Whatever emotions are there. And again, there may be emotions that are uncomfortable that you don't like. You just, today, right now, for this moment, you don't need to do anything about them. You're just letting them be. And so you see, we're becoming more fully human in the sense that we are embracing our full environment and our full body. And so all that's left to embrace is the mind. Let's just do that briefly here. The mind is sounds and pictures, movies that play in your head and conversations you have with yourself. And you can just notice the mind. How is it this morning? Is it loud? Is it quiet? Is it colorful? Is it obsessed? Is it all over the place? Is it hard to hear? Is it easy to hear? And a lot of people come into meditation in a battle with their mind because they think that's what meditation is about. It's not. We just accept the mind. We don't have to do anything about it. If your mind is noisy, let it be noisy. If your mind is quiet, let it be quiet. If it's negative, let it be negative. If it's positive, let it be positive. If it's painful, let it be painful. So we've just gone through this whole world, the whole world of our experience. Now we've done it very quickly, so there's probably things we've missed, but we've at least turned our attention to the crowd of experiences and said, "Hey, I accept you." And this is different than we normally operate. And it's a way of becoming more fully human. When we walk through the day, we usually are only focused in on one little aspect of being human. Whenever it is, one little aspect of our story or our person, but we're capable of feeling so much in a single moment. And so here we're going to accept everything about ourselves. And so we become more fully human. And so I said this meditation is going to be called the couch and the cat. The starting place is moving towards catness. So there's a sense of self-satisfaction that cats have, right? They seem to just be pretty satisfied with themselves. And people find that kind of arrogant and annoying sometimes. And obviously, most of us love, if we have a cat, we love our cats because there's kind of a deep calmness and an ability to just fully relax. And that comes from a self-satisfaction. Now, self-satisfaction in the normal sense has a negative flavor in our English word, but let's break it down. Self-satisfaction. So we are okay with who and what we are, ourself. And this is a way of becoming more fully ourselves, more fully human. But in this sense, ourselves are just sort of everything about us and everything we're experiencing, right? That's just what it is to be a living being, is to be having experiences. And our body and our mind in the human are very primary, but all our senses, everything the body's feeling, hearing, seeing. Why are cats so relaxed? It was because they're not, moment by moment, they're not in a battle with anything. And even when they get in a battle, you often it's just playful. You see them play with a toy or torturing an insect or something. They're in their world, they're being playful because they're not actually finding a problem in their experience. Now, surely it's easier for cat because they don't have probably as much mind activity as we do to get lost inside of and to think about all the problems we have. That's the challenge of the human evolutionary tree, is that we developed a problem-solving organ, but in the end, it's no different. For the cat, they're mostly not thinking about the future or the past, and they're mostly self-satisfied. They really do. Cats really do walk around like, oh boy, I am perfect. That's sort of the thing that's radiating off the cat is, I'm pretty much perfect, you know? Even when they fall, they're like, that I meant to do that, I'm perfect. Immediately roll out of it. And like all creatures, there's times when they're in pain or they get scared. But you notice that, again, for most cats, this is a stereotype, but they might get scared or get hurt, but they seem to come out of it very quickly. And they're not holding on to it because the next moment is perfect. This is a kind of the self, This is the self-satisfaction we're looking for, is realizing that there is a sense in which everything is perfect as it is. This includes our mind and the problem-solving part of our mind. So we're not trying to get rid of anything, but from the perspective of everything being perfect as it is, you'll notice your problems start to sit in a much bigger space. And then you can sort of just accept that there's a game you might want to play with the mind of solving a problem, but it's more of a game and it's not yourself. It's not going to affect the perfection of who and what you are. And the mind can get in an argument here with, you're like, well, I'm not perfect and all. It's not a mind thing. It's this practice of sitting down on the cushion and noticing what is and letting it be. If you can keep doing that, then there'll come a moment when you have practiced it well enough or long enough that you're no longer in resistance to anything in your experience and you're accepting it all. And it's only just this a millimeter move from there to go, oh, everything's kind of perfect just as it is. I'm kind of perfect just as I am. And that includes the fact that everything is changing, including me, and growing or deteriorating. All of it's perfect when we realize there's no part of it we actually need to fight with, at least in this moment, right? That's the meditative experience one can practice. And so this is how we become more fully human by being like the cat. So before we move on to the couch, just, you know, it's always useful to meditate with a little bit of the Cheshire cat in your face, just a little sense of that smile, a self-satisfied smile. And it can just be inside your face. You don't have to make a big outward expression of it, but you can let it creep into your face. You can go for a big smile if it's happening. No, we're probably not going to always meditate with a big smile, but we might start to soften our eyes, soften our mouth, and let gladness and joy and self-satisfaction creep into the corners of our mouth. So what happens after we've gotten to a point where we're sort of seeing everything's perfect as it is? As we're really letting everything be. Let's use that phrase. We're letting everything be the way it is. We're allowing everything to be the way it is. We're allowing everything outside of us to be the way it is. Doesn't mean we're saying that after meditation, we're not going to do stuff about stuff. We're allowing everything to be as it is. And we're allowing ourselves to be as we are, our body, our emotions, our mind. And when we start to sit in this longer and longer, we can switch from letting be to letting go. Now, there's really no switch there. It's just a shift in emphasis. So when we're in a transcendent state of letting be, we might call it the witness. And the whole world is just there, and we are the observer, at peace, untouchable. But there's a sense in which we are also like a couch. So the couch I often sit on to teach, or my students sit on it, or right now I'm leaning against it. I mean, my back is touching it. The couch just sits here 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, existing. And so the practice here is as we let it be, we drop it. That is, we let it go. And you might notice that it's really just a shift in emphasis because to truly let be is to let go, but we start to let go of any stickiness that the world has for us. And so whatever is coming up, if our attention is moving with it at all, we let go of that. And we don't get strict. It's very easy. It's like instead of making the effort to follow something, even though it's so habitual we don't know we're doing it, you just withdraw that energy and you let it all go. The couch does not react at all as I go through my day. Doesn't care how silly I am, care if I'm crying on the couch or dancing around, happy, or if there's a party or there's a meditation class. The couch does not get involved. In this sense, it's not very human, right? It's kind of inhuman, but we share something with the couch. What do we share? Well, there's a part of us, and when you go deep enough, you realize it is the realist part of us, the part of us that's just like the couch. We're just existing. Now, that can sound, the mind can really not like that because it kind of takes away all the power from the mind. The mind says, no, we're not just existing. We're doing and we're judging and we're evaluating and we're planning. There's a part of us that's like a tree in the forest. There's a part of us that's like a rock on the top of a mountain. There's a part of us that's like the couch. And the way we practice it when we're not in a transcendent state of equanimity is it's just sort of, most of us feel it sort of in the gut. It's just our sense of being. Not any thoughts about being or any feelings about being. It's just our raw fact of existence. And that being, that part of us that evolved from an amoeba, right? That evolved from things that had no mental activity whatsoever. And that lineage is still inside of us as a living being. And ultimately that amoeba evolved from even smaller things that evolved right up out of mineral and chemical, right? Just like a couch. And so we feel into our gut and we feel into the minerals of our bones and we feel into the chemical processes of our body. And they're just like a river. They're just like the wind through the trees. They're just like a couch. They have no problems. This is all of our body. It's just, it has no thoughts about problem. And most of our body just processing, just being a process. And somewhere deep inside of all that is just a deep quiet and silence and stillness. And from the transcendent place, it's a letting go of the world. In Buddhism, there's one of the classical goals of meditation is called cessation. It's the stopping. It's the stopping into the stillness, into complete stillness, where we let go completely of our mental world. But our mental world is everything. It's everything we see, hear, and feel. That all goes through the mind. So in a sense, we're letting go of the world. Now, we're not going to die, but there is this sense in which we're going to disappear for just a second as we let go and fall back into reality, the reality of being. It's as if we fall into a universe before living beings. That's sort of a halfway step to understand what we're talking about. There was a time on this planet before there were any living creatures. And it's not like we're traveling back there as a human to see and experience and have an adventure. We're traveling back to a time of mental quiet. And there were no stories. There just was a universe happening, being. And then we go all the way back to the beginning before there was any universe that we could possibly conceive of, and we let go of all of it. And the first time I really experienced this, it was really like being a couch. I was standing on a hill and on a retreat. I was looking at some wind chimes, and then suddenly I was not there. For a moment, everything else was there. The world was happening. And then I blinked out of existence because I let go of it all. Now, why would we want to do this? Well, the couch is so peaceful. And the couch is so real. Now, the word couch might not be real, but the beingness is just real. So, what we drop into is our deepest reality and a sense of such peacefulness. And there's an aliveness in the couch, which is related to the aliveness of a living being, but is much more mysterious and fundamental. It's the aliveness of nothing being fixed, nothing having been created. It's the aliveness of pure possibility that exists in being, right? Being allows for anything to be. anything that's possible to be. And when we sit in being and only in being, or when we touch into being, we're touching into the aliveness of possibility, of what could be, even as we are sitting in a state where nothing actually is yet. And this is, you know, some people compare this experience in Buddhism to turning it off and turning it on again, the classic method of fixing your computer. When you blink out and there's a freshness when you come back that it's like your hard drive is, your RAM is all cleaned up, your hard drive is more organized. And then you can go about being more fully human again. So that is how meditation is about becoming like the couch and the cat. And when you're ready, you just come out of that. You can open your eyes. And both of those things you can carry with you through your day. The second is harder. And, it depends where you are in your practice. It will have more or less availability, but it's something to think about. There were times when I would just walk around and I would feel deep communion with my bookshelf or couch or my paintings on the wall. And it wasn't the communion of, oh, I love that painting. It was the communion of, oh, there's no problems over there. It just doesn't have any problems. And there's a part of me that is like that. That is just here without a problem.